Okay, so let's get to work on our empanada filling. Just one thing I want to talk about real quick. This is a banana pepper. It's very similar to a pepper like I would see in chili that they would use in certain things. It's got a little bit of spice to it, but it's not very spicy. Just got a nice little bite to it. It's got a nice sweet flavor. It's a really good pepper. All right, now I'm going to take some raisins. I got a 1/4 cup of raisins, and I'm going to put them in 1/2 cup of beef broth. We're going to need this beef broth later. And what we're going to do with that, we're also going to put in a tablespoon of flour. And this is going to go into our mixture towards the very end of cooking. Okay, so I have 1 pound of lean beef. All the beef I saw in chili was always lean. I think it's because it's all grass-fed beef. Anyway, it was good quality beef down there. I'm going to season it with 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of merquin. That's a Chilean spice. It's really good stuff. A little bit hard to find here in the States. I have to mail order it. But anyway, it's good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up off camera. Okay, I've got some oil that's getting warm in the pan, and I've got just over 1 cup of onion. Since I'm using 1 pound of beef, I wanted 1 cup of onion. And when I was cutting it up, I had just a little bit left, so I threw just a little bit of extra in. So the recipe is going to say 1 cup, but to be truthful, I did use just a tiny bit more. Now we're going to hit this with just a little bit of salt. That'll help the onions cook a little better. Anyway, I'll be back with you. We're not going to brown these. We're just going to slowly cook them. I want to soften them up really good, nice and slow, just like I'm making caramelized onions, except we're not going to brown them. Okay, our onions, they've softened up. They really have softened up all the way through. They got just a little bit of yellow color to them. They're almost getting ready to start turning brown. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put our beef in here. We're going to start cooking that. Now to help speed that up, we're going to take and break it up, and that'll increase the contact area with the pan. And we're just going to keep mashing it down and let her go. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our banana peppers in here. We're going to make sure they get cooked all the way through and softened. That way they're not crunchy. We don't really want anything crunchy in our empanadas. And we're just going to keep breaking this meat up. Okay, so our beef is basically cooked now. And I've got a little bit of moisture in here that's kind of cooked out of it. That's okay. Now, if your mixture starts to get dry, add just a little bit of beef stock just to keep it from getting dry. You want it to keep cooking. You don't really need to add any more oil. That's why I'm using a non-stick pan. Just add just a little bit more stock and let it keep simmering. So anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to give our beef stock with the flour and the raisins, we're going to give this a good stir. Any hunks in here, you want to be sure to break those up because that'll make a lump in your mixture, and you don't want that because that'll just taste nasty. We're going to put this in here. Now remember, it's got raw flour, so you're going to have to cook that for a couple of minutes. We got to cook that raw taste out, but it's not far from being done. See how that's pretty much instantly thickening up? I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn this down to a medium. Now the raisins are going to help give a sweetness to our filling without being syrupy sweet. It'll just be a little something there. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to turn that off because this is almost done. Basically, at this point, we're going to set it aside and we're going to let it cool. There we go. Okay, got 4 cups of flour, got 1/2 tablespoon of salt. This is probably a little less than what a lot of people would use, but I don't use a lot of salt. Try not to anyway. I'm going to kind of mix that up a little bit. And we're going to put in 2 egg yolks. Put that off to the side. I'm going to kind of mix that a little bit. Break these up. Now I've got 6 ounces of butter. This is a 1.5 sticks of butter. And I've just kind of diced it up a little bit. And we're going to start kind of cutting this in. You could use a pastry cutter if you wanted to. That would definitely work. Don't worry about making a little bit of a mess because we're going to put it on the counter here in a little bit anyway. Okay, so we have our butter pretty much cut in. There's still a few big pieces around, but that's okay, don't worry, it's okay. What we're going to do now, we're going to start adding some milk. We're going to add a little bit of time. We're going to make our dough. There we go, that ought to be enough. Maybe just a little more in the bottom. Incorporate that. And what we're going to do now, we're getting ready to roll this out here on the counter. Okay, so we're going to put some flour out here. We're going to put our dough out there. We're going to knead this for a little bit. There we go. That's what we're looking for right there. Get all this incorporated, and then we're going to roll it out. All right, so we can flour. Come my rolling pin here. I'm going to put a little flour on that. See all those little yellow spots? That's pieces of butter that we've got cut into that pastry dough. See, right there? It's gonna make it nice and flaky. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep rolling this out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these out. We're gonna use this little plate. Now, at the bakeries in Chile, they would be a little bit bigger than this. But this will work. And we'll just come over here. We'll cut another one. Okay, so here's one of my wrappers. I'm going to take some of my beef mixture. I'm going to put this right here in the center. Just about like that. We're going to take one black olive, and then we're going to take 1/4 of a hard-boiled egg. We're going to come around here, and we're going to brush the edge. This is milk and egg. It's just a basic egg wash. Just milk and egg. We'll put a little bit of this on here. Going to do, I'm going to fold this over, make sure my egg stays in there, press that down, there we go, that's looking good. Now we're going to fold this edge up. Oh, I need to put a little bit right there, a little bit of the egg wash. Right there. Fold that up. Fold that over. Fold go. Oops. And I'm going to take and poke a hole right there. Okay, my oven's preheated, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get these first 4 in here. I'm not going to show you me rolling out the other ones. What I'm going to do, just make sure that everything is sealed up. Kind of press these down, kind of make it look even. All right, now we're going to put a little bit of our egg wash on this because I want these to be a nice golden brown. And this egg and milk mixture will help give them a beautiful color. You don't need a whole lot of this. In fact, you don't want a lot of it. You don't want it to be eggy. All right, there they are. They're not perfectly shaped, but hey, they look wonderful. Now, I believe I said earlier that I cook them at 350 degrees. That's not true. I like to use 425 because really all you're doing is cooking the dough. I'm not cooking the filling, so there's no reason to cook them slowly. Anyway, there's my empanadas al horno.